Welcome to the McAllen Cable Network Studios. With me today is Mayor Jim Darling with Meeting with the Mayor.
Good afternoon or good morning, or wherever you're looking at this.
Mayor, you've been busy these last few months, and we have a lot coming up in the future. So let's talk about something you've been working on, the Research Center and the agreement with UTRGV. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, you know, we're looking at economic development as part of our focus, and so we thought with a new research center being built on the South Dove campus, it'd be time that we try to do that as an economic development incentive. So we have a proposed agreement that's being finalized now with UTRGV, who will be, the medical school will be operating, if you will, the research center, and how we can contribute and look at it from an economic development like we do, invest in the maquiladoras, et cetera, of what we can do to enhance research from an economic development standpoint. And obviously it has health benefits. And so we'll be looking at that. And then one other thing we're going to do is talk to the drug manufacturers and all them, and try to actually build it outside the research center, even focus on that kind of research as an economic development tool.
I know a lot of times when we get covered by the media or people out in the community say, well, it's very political and it won't affect me. But when you look at things, you're looking at how it's going to impact the community. In other words, yeah, we're going to have a new medical school, and yeah, we're working hard for research. But this is hopefully going to have an impact to everyone's family.
Yeah, you're not only bringing in jobs, you know, that's what you want. You want jobs, you want investment in infrastructure, putting assets on the tax rolls. But this is the great idea, I mean, the great concept of this is it actually improves the health of our community. You saw UTRGV, the medical school now, is going to set up clinics in the area. The opportunity to work with them to not only economic development, but for health-related purposes is tremendous, and we want to make sure that we assist in doing that. You know, one time when we talked about the $2 million we're going to give the university, I went up and I asked the Chancellor McCraven, I said, you know, why do you need my $2 million? You got all this money. And he said, you know, we needed to recruit research professors, et cetera, where they may have a study that they're coming in, and they want to take that study with them. That's the only way to get there. Well, that's kind of off budget, if you will, for the university. So part of the money that we would normally just give them, we could use as an economic incentive monies to the medical school and get kind of 2 for 1, if you will. Better health for our citizens and also economic development.
Mayor, coming up next year, we have a special election coming in for District 1.
Yes.
Why should people get involved in District 1 and vote?
Well, it's your city. You know, in District 1, people hopefully will come out and vote. The election's January 20th. Early voting starts, I think, on the 16th. On
the 3 through the 16th.
16th, 3rd through the 16th.
January 3rd to the 16th.
You know, and McAllen has a little bit of a reputation for not voting, and so, you know, if you don't vote, don't complain about what's going on. And so, you know, let's show people we ought to get in the habit of voting in McAllen, not only in city elections, but county elections, state elections. I mean, that's how you get attention to your area. And so hopefully McAllenites will get out and vote. And it's an important election, and it's only one item election. It's the only election on that day or for that period, and get out and vote and exercise your right. You know, I always thought not only is it right, it's an obligation. You know, it's something we should not take for granted. So.
And of course, folks, you can get more information on the special election on our website at McAllen.net. So make sure if you live in District 1, for District, you get out to vote January 3rd through the 16th, early voting. You can beat a lot of lines there. And of course, Election Day, January 20th.
And that's going to be the only election, so you know you have to pay attention to that because we won't get any other publicity except for the election that we're having.
All righty. Mayor, also, we just finished visiting our friends to the south. You delivered a fire truck. Tell us about that experience.
Yeah, we had a surplus fire truck. I think it was 1994, and I know I thought in the paper it said it was worth $15,000, but I asked the chief how much that would get at auction, and certainly less than $1,000. But even if it was $15,000, it's worth it for a couple of reasons. Number one, we spent a lot of money in Mexico trying to build up goodwill. You know, some of the rhetoric that we don't control has caused not great will for people in Mexico to come here. So we want to make sure that it's a good investment from that standpoint. It's a safety investment. We have a responder agreement with Mexico, with Reynosa. We gave it to the state of Tamaulipas, who has a fire department in Reynosa, so that you know, hopefully that fire trucks be used to put out a fire. We wouldn't have to respond to it, and so we wouldn't put our men in risk in in Mexico. And then third thing is it's symbolic of, safety is important on both sides of the river. If you had a chemical fire in Mexico, there's petroleum plants there. The wind doesn't know any borders, and so hopefully it also helps us to protect not only the Mexicans, but also people on our side. And it was fun to drive down there. And the chief told me, I said, where's the siren? He said, no, Mayor, all the wires are already disconnected, so the siren doesn't work. And so I had a little horn. I was playing with that a little bit. And then when I got to drive it, since I didn't have a license, I had to wait to the bridge. There's no jurisdiction. And so I got in, and there was a siren. So we went full blast, siren and horns, and had a good time. But it's really symbolic, and they appreciate it. It's very meaningful to Mexico, and I think it's meaningful for us.
Yeah, people don't understand that our fire department at times has to respond if there's a big fire in Mexico and literally use our trucks, our equipment. So by helping them take care of themselves, we don't get called over there.
Yeah, and then we gave them some bunker gear that's no longer useful over here, but it is useful there. And so, it's just all around good thing. I think we continue to make sure we try to recognize the importance of Mexico, and this is one way of doing that.
I know we got some remarks on Facebook that basically, other cities could use it here in the U.S., but their standards here, by law, they can't.
They couldn't use the bunker gear or the boots or anything like that. And that truck that needs some tender loving care, and I'm sure that they'll give that to them. And I don't, if another town was going to do something, I'm sure they would buy one at auction that was better suited to what they need.
All righty. And that's true because you guys as mayors get together once in a while and discuss your needs in the entire region. The other thing, Mayor, we have our marathon coming up in January.
Right.
It's getting bigger and better.
I know you have been training for it.
Yeah, I'm going to try to do the 5K. I'm trying to, I can't even think of the relay or the half marathon.
You could do 5K, the half marathon. The relay is what, 5K or 6K, 5 people doing it?
It's
something like that.
It's like 5 people.
It's 5 people doing it, so you're doing not quite, well, a little over a mile, I guess, 5 miles, I guess. So you could do that, or you can do the full one, which is really, really good. And it's a little bit for everything. And it's a great marathon because it's still a Boston qualifier, and it's a flat, good weather kind of marathon, so you can get some good times to get that qualifier done. And there'll be international people involved in it, and so it's a big, big deal. And looking forward to it.
Well, I know y'all at McAllen goes first class. You should check out the medals. They're awesome. The swag is incredible, both the shirts and the medals that runners get to participate, whether you're doing the relay, you're doing the half, or the full marathon. It's awesome. The kids' marathon has gotten bigger.
Yes.
That one is
fun.
Fun. The kids run their final mile. On the Saturday before.
They run 1 mile whenever they want to, but they run 26 times, and so they have 3. I think we started in September, so they have 3 or 4 months to do it. And the last one, they'll actually get their certificate for running a marathon. And I bet you there's kids later on that are going to run real marathons because of that exposure till they get that. So it's very exciting for the kids to participate. And man, they run that last mile. I couldn't keep up with them. So
there's almost like 5,000 kids from across the McAllen School District.
Right.
And surrounding cities that participated this past year. So we're expecting about the same or more this year.
I wonder how many parents ran, because the parents have to certify that they run it, and so you would think, we maybe picked up some parental runners along with the kids.
Well, my understanding was from last year, because they go, give me a kid's medal too, because whatever my son ran, I had to do the same thing to support him. So I took him to the park, and we did it out there as a family. So that was incredible.
Yeah, it's great places to run. I know we're finishing up Benson Road for the hike and bike trail, and that, I don't know how many miles that goes out there, but when that finishes, that'll be another great venue for people to get out and train if they want to, or just get out and walk and have a good time.
Well, this will lead us to our next subject. In one of your State of the Cities, you focused on fitness for the entire family and why that was important. Have you seen the community sort of change and be more fitness ready?
Oh, sure. I mean, with everything that we do with sports, a lot more activity in the sports arena. The hike and bike trails have helped a lot of people get out. Our bike sharing program, we went from the fattest city to the #1 city for Let's Move under First Lady Michelle Obama's program. The school district's fantastic. We have parks and all kinds of facilities on school grounds that the city maintains and builds, and so it's a great partnership, but it's really good ideas to get people out and exercise. Nothing better than feeling that you're in shape, and you can do it at any age, at any level. If you get up and get moving, That's the big major thing. So I think our community is much more aware of that.
I know the Parks Department has been working on developing some parks,
Yes,
some
Menlo
skate parks, and it's like
2 new skate parks. I'm going to go over and break my leg. I mean, do a groundbreaking. Did I say groundbreaking? Bone breaking. And we're going to go over there. It's a piece of property we didn't use very well on Houston, I think it is. It was an old water tower site, and for years it was not very well kept. And so it's great that we're going to use that, and it's a great facility for that neighborhood. And then we have another one on school property that we built. So, yeah, get out there and get your roller skates.
Why do you believe it's important for a community to have that quality of life things to offer its citizens? Because people may see a Second Street hike and bike trail, but there used to be a time where there was no Second Street hike and bike trail.
And you know, we partner with the school districts and PTAs to build pavilions, and so you go to almost any grammar school or junior high, there's kids playing basketball at night, and you know, just getting out and physical activity keeps people busy, and it's great to get out and get up and not watch TV or Netflix or whatever you're doing, and physical activity is so important, and it's hard to get people to do that now. So.
Well, your State of the City is sort of your way to talk about issues important to this community.
I try to make it like a vision thing, so what we want to do for the next year, and we did physical fitness. I rode in on a bicycle to show physical fitness, and I think the second year we came in as Rocky with all the kids. I had to drink raw eggs. But the idea there was to build a future for our kids and get people to understand that. And then the third year is everybody matters. So like all our parks have a special needs component, and make sure we try to do some veteran outreach and all those kind of things. And then last year it's your city, take some responsibility. So we revamped our recycling program to make that stronger. Emphasize more activity in your community because it is your city, and take care of it. And so this year's going to be a little different. And we kind of have a different entry, kind of emphasize that. It's a lot of fun. I think people enjoy it. So we keep it a secret. And it'll be fun this year. If you liked last year's and the years before, it'll be fun.
And I know after every State of the City, when you start the new one, you go back and you talk about the changes you've seen throughout the years, for example, for the past year. With the veterans, I mean, Frank Plummer, God bless him, can't praise the city enough for helping with the Veterans War Memorial. But It took a citizen to get that going.
Sure.
And that's one of those things where one person can make a difference.
Yeah, they have a small group, and it's kind of funny. I'm on the group that's a nonprofit now, and they're all World War II veterans, and so God bless them. They're all in their 90s, and so he said we need to get some young people in there. And I said, well, Mayor, you're the young one, and I took that as a compliment, although I'm not the young. So we now have some younger. Veterans going to take over that eventually, and so continuity is important. The whole idea is that your community get involved in it, and there's so many areas you can get involved in and are so beneficial, not only you personally, but also for the community. So.
And I know the city has advisory boards that are made up of entire citizens.
Yeah.
Talk about that and how easy it is to get on there.
Yeah, just call the city secretary, and it's a little resume. So we know, we don't have to know everybody. You don't have to know a city commissioner or mayor to get on one, but we want to know about you. And so we are coming up in January for appointment. I think there's over 20 advisory boards and literally hundreds of people involved in it. And if you have a problem with traffic, get on the advisory board and see what you can do about it. So no excuse for that. By the way, the State of the City, we do sponsorships for that. And so 100% of it's paid by sponsors. There's no tax dollars go into the State of the City, and we always make money on it and use that then for charitable donations during the year. And so we try to make that a good use and put our money where our mouth is and benefit the community and have fun at the same time.
For nonprofits and stuff, programs that they offer in the community.
Yeah.
So that's awesome. I know I get to work with you a lot on State of the City, and I know this year is going to be just as great as it was before. The thing is, everybody always wants to know, because I get asked 20 times a day, so what's his entrance? You need to go to see the entrance, because it's always phenomenal.
I get some good suggestions later on. Some of them involve jumping out of airplanes and those things. But we consider everything. So if you had a good idea, we'll listen to it. But the whole idea is to tie it to a theme. What I think, and it helps the staff say, let's work in this area a little bit. And I think the staff enjoys that, and management enjoys. I don't just do it myself, but they're involved in it, and I think they buy into it easier because it is part of the whole idea. And let's see what we can do, and then next year we'll talk about what we accomplished.
Any final words?
No, it's been a challenging year for the border, for the last couple of years on the border, And I know, and you know, and everybody who lives here knows what a great, great place the border is to live, and how important it is to not only us but the rest of the country. And so, you know, let's just maintain the course, keep the faith, and we'll all come out better. But it's a great place to live, and we know it, and that's okay.
So, folks, well, thank you for watching Meeting with the Mayor with Mayor Jim Darling. And you'll have your next episode next month with the Meeting with the Mayor, see what we're up to. But join us for State of the City. And if you have any questions on anything we talked about, go to our city website. And you can always call us at our 681-3111 number, and we'll contact you with the right person. That's our 311 center.
Yeah. Or if you want to get a hold of me, it's jdarling@mcallen.net, and I'll be glad to answer your questions.
For the City of McAllen, I'm working through with Mayor Jim Darling.